I sure wish I could be there with everyone, but it's not possible at this point, and so I at least wanted to give my love to everyone and maybe share a couple Rachel stories. I guess had to have been in the mid 50s, somewhere in the 50s. We were living on a farm in northern Michigan. Um, Beautiful place at the, as I recall, it was at the end of a very long dirt road out of this little town of North Lake. And anyway, one summer day, Rachel and I got lost in the woods. Um, it was a terrifying experience for a child, and we were little kids, and there were bear and whatnot, and a child's imagination and all that. So yeah, it was not a good thing, but we obviously somehow made it back home, and we talked about it over the years numerous times of how important it was that was a shared experience with us, and I'm sure almost all siblings have stories of shared experiences, but that was ours, and it was the one that taught us that we needed to look out for one another and to try to always be there for one another. And I think we did that. I think I always knew she'd be there for me, and she always knew I'd be there for her. And so, in 1963, we moved from Kalamazoo, Michigan, to Tucson, Arizona. And we moved into a community off of 22nd Street that, was one of those, every house looked the same, single-story brick houses, and every backyard was a walled-in, cement block walled-in backyard. And one day, Rachel and I, it had to have been like in July or whatever, but we were out in the backyard, and the lady next door put this big jar of liquid up on the wall that separated our shared yards, and so Rachel, we walked over there, and Rachel asked her why, she put that up on the wall, and it was iced tea, but we didn't know that, and we never even heard of iced tea, being from Michigan at that time. So anyway, she said that she put it up there to keep it from getting cloudy, and so Rachel and I looked at each other and looked at the sky, and then turned and walked in the house, and thinking that there was something not quite right with the lady next door. And yeah, well, obviously we didn't know anything about iced tea. But anyway, we moved from that house to 5736 South Bonnie Avenue in Tucson, and it was on the south side of town, dirt road. Pretty much no one else out there except for this bar up the road. But so this house, there was actually some grass in the front yard of this place, and it's Tucson, so it's kind of unique. But our mother was really kind of fond of that grass, reminded her of Michigan, I guess. So anyway, she went to town and asked me to water the grass. So I'm out there with a hose, and Rachel's sitting on the porch, and along the front of the house there was a sidewalk, and So I'm watering the grass, and there's this hole. It's a pretty good sized hole right by the edge of the sidewalk. And so I'm bored. I stick the hose down in this hole. Well, I'm looking at this, for a couple of a minute or whatever. And so this big hairy leg comes out of this hole. Now, coming from Michigan, the biggest spider that either one of us had ever seen was probably about that big. And but this big hairy leg comes out of this hole, and then another one, and then another one. And it's a tarantula, of course, but we'd never heard of a tarantula. So I don't remember how big this thing was. I mean, I don't know how big it was. What I remember was that it was about the size of a car tire. But anyway, so it comes out of the hole. And we're both just terrified of this monster, right? So in the yard, there was these I don't know, I think they were candle holder things. It was like a spiral rod, and it had these like prongs that came up, and a globe set in those, and I think it was some kind of citronella thing for warding off mosquitoes or whatever. Anyway, there was no globe in it or whatever, but I grabbed this thing. And he gave it to Rachel, because, she's the oldest, right? So I give her this thing, and I'm behind her, pushing her toward this tarantula, this beast, telling her to kill it, And so when she's eyes closed, stabbing at the ground, going after this spider, and I don't know, it was, and I'm pushing her. We didn't get it. Of course, I mean, it wandered off or whatever. I don't think that she even remotely tried to do any harm to this spider, because that just wasn't her. But anyway, I thought I'd tell a couple of quick stories, and I love you all. And I hope to see you soon, and hug each other for me, and I'll talk to you later.